Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Nina. I help people declutter their minds and their homes using practical applications of psychology. And one of the most surprising things that I have learned from working with so many people who struggle with clutter, including myself, is that for many people, the secret reason why it's so difficult for them to let go is because their clutter is actually providing them with some kind of a sense of security or comfort. Now, as we'll talk about in this video, it's usually a very false sense of security or comfort, but even when this is the case, it can still feel very real, which can, of course, make it seem almost impossible to get rid of things because it can feel almost threatening. So today I want to address all of this in a compassionate, non-judgmental way, because the truth is that I have totally been there, and I fully recognize that I lived in a clutter comfort nest for years. And the problem with all of this is that in reality, clutter really does have some pretty significant negative consequences, which we talk all about on this channel all the time. And so even when we hold on to things because subconsciously we feel like they are providing us with a sense of comfort or security in the moment, in the long run is slowly chipping away at our mental health and self-esteem. So let's go ahead and talk about the psychology behind the reasons that we might be secretly comforted by our clutter, and then we'll delve into ways that we can start to gently shift away from these mindsets and finally start cultivating a space that truly supports our well-being. Now, the first one that I want to talk about is the emotional attachment trap. So close your eyes for a moment and picture your childhood room. Maybe it was messy, maybe it was clean, but it was yours. We have to realize that over time, our clutter becomes more than just our physical stuff. It's a familiar landscape that holds our memories and a sense of security. It's like a physical scrapbook of our lives, and letting go of some of these things can feel unsettling. It can feel almost like we're losing a little piece of ourselves. And even though this idea can start in childhood, we can become emotionally attached to objects throughout our entire lifetime because they become a collection of memories and emotions. And we can feel kind of comforted by having these things all around us all the time because we think that they're a way for us to keep the past alive and to kind of relive all of these happy memories. Another twist on this is that we can feel like we're protecting our identity. This is because our possessions can get tied into our sense of self without realizing it. So many of us define ourselves by our hobbies or our occupation or our past accomplishments. So when this is the case, we want to hold on to things that are associated with these aspects of our life because we can feel like decluttering is almost like dismantling parts of our identity. Whereas when we hold on to all of these things, we can feel like we're almost safeguarding who we are or who we used to be as a person. Another big one is the illusion of control. In a world that's full of uncertainty right now, clinging to any sense of control, even if it is an illusion, can feel like it's giving us a sense of comfort. And one way we might do this is to avoid making any uncomfortable decisions or any big changes. If we feel like there are so many changes happening in the external world, we can feel like we're almost providing ourselves with a safe space by not forcing ourselves to have that same experience in our own home. We can actually start to feel like it's the only aspect of our life that we do have control over, or the only thing that isn't changing. So even if in reality the space is unhealthy or leading to negative consequences, that illusion of control really can still be hard for us to get past. Something else that many people struggle with is the fear of lack, especially when finances are tight or we've lived through times when we really didn't have enough. And sometimes, even if we haven't had these types of experiences ourselves, we can still learn this mentality from caregivers who have suffered through these types of situations. So we can secretly feel like we may someday need these items for survival, or we can feel guilty at the thought of getting rid of items that so many other people still need. Or we can just feel a sense of security knowing that we have these items laying around somewhere, even if we don't really like them or even if we've never used them before. Now, another reason that our clutter may seem comforting is that in our mind we are avoiding perceived suffering by not starting the decluttering process. Now, if we're being perfectly honest here, we know that sometimes clutter is due to good old-fashioned procrastination. But I do think we have a valid reason for it, because for many of us, the thought of addressing this clutter really does fill us with dread, anxiety, and overwhelm. So we think that by putting it off, we're able to stay in our comfort zone a little bit longer and avoid all of this horrible discomfort. And a lot of times we also use our clutter and our chaos as a barrier from our problems or from other people. It can act like a protective wall that we hide behind that allows us to avoid confronting deeper issues or engaging with others. This is because a cluttered space can be a physical manifestation of emotional clutter or negative past experiences. The act of sorting through clutter can force us to address these issues, which can be stressful and overwhelming. So we think that by keeping all of this clutter all around us all of the time, we're just providing ourselves with this safe, protective nest that is far away from all of these problems. So in a nutshell, clutter really can feel like a friend in many surprising ways. But that does not mean that is a healthy companion in the long run, because believe me, it is not. And in the playlist that I have linked in the description box below, I have many videos that talk about the reasons why we need to declutter our life and the many benefits that we gain from doing so. So if you're still on the fence, please watch those videos. But my hope for today's video is that it validates your feelings and helps you to understand why decluttering may have felt so difficult in the past, because I truly believe that this understanding really is the first step to positive change. Now, in the playlist I just mentioned, you will also find many gentle and realistic strategies for starting a decluttering journey for those of us who do need compassionate support or have no idea where to begin. However, it's also important that we start to shift our perspective and challenge the mindsets that led us to believe that clutter is a comforting friend, because the truth is that a truly supportive friend would never want us to live in a chaotic space. And while we certainly don't want to be dismissive of our feelings or invalidate our experiences, when we do start looking at these mindsets, we start to see that they not only deceive us, but they keep us from living the life that we truly deserve. We need to start to think of decluttering as an act of self-care and create a calmer space that reflects the person who we are in this moment. And you will be surprised how quickly this false sense of comfort can shift into a true sense of empowerment and real control, not only over your home, but also over your entire life. So as always, I truly hope you found today's video to be helpful and insightful. I want to wish you all the best on your own decluttering journey. Please keep me posted in the comments. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope the rest of your day is extraordinary.